Live from Remax Comfort Worldwide Studios, here's your host.
Thank you. So in this past week, we've had the Federal Reserve Open Market Committee meet, and they were expected to raise interest rates. However, because of low inflation and very mild concerns over price adjustments, they decided to keep it the same. To give you an idea on the inflation, we have lower oil, energy prices, and even at the grocery markets, many people are experiencing lower or stable prices. Either way, I and David as well wanted to give you a slight explanation on what has been happening in the market and an idea of what would happen when the interest rates decide to increase. It is very likely that they will and will not be able to sustain these historic lows that we have been expecting. So, my partner and friend, here's David. Thank you. Here we're looking at the aggregate supply versus demand for the real estate market. Along our y-axis, going from top to bottom, we have price, because price is dependent on our quantity available or quantity produced, which is our independent variable along the x-axis. As we begin to draw the demand curve, you will see that at higher prices, of course, lower quantities are demanded, whether that's a scarce product or a luxury item. And as more and more of them are available, we move towards a lower price. And that is our demand. The inverse is related to supply, of course. We move from the bottom left and up towards the right, showing that at a lower price, we are willing to supply less of a given item, in this case, real estate, and at greater prices, we supply more of them. The equilibrium is created where the two intersect, and this is where the market would be, at a certain price for a certain quantity of items. However, in the market, we have seen increased employment, increased income, and increased measures that would create a higher demand or a shift in the demand curve up. This then moves equilibrium along the supply curve to a higher point, thus creating a higher price accepted and selling a greater volume of product. Homes. With recent concerns over the interest rates, an increase in interest rate would lower the supply of money and credit within the market, lowering the supply of homes because they are harder to get loans for, both for new construction and for current homes. So that lowers our supply curve to here, and would counteract any advances in demand, creating an equilibrium that's very similar to the same spot, the same price. However, it would still mean a greater quantity of homes sold. And then in the middle, we are able to see in this shaded area where there would be, somewhere in this area, would be the fallout of both an interest rate change and an increase in demand. Now, back to the negotiator, who is going to talk about both the coming winter market and what it may have, as well as what eventual increases in interest rate may mean for a buyer or seller. Thank you. So from a negotiator standpoint, we have currently a higher demand going into the winter, and we have still stable interest rates. In fact, a marginal increase in interest rates might even persuade the buyer that's on the fence to get in the market before they lose out on these historic rates. So it should be a mild winter by real estate standards. It's still a seller's market, and there are still plenty of buyers that are trying to get down with the interest rates the way they are. So I encourage all of you, buyers, sellers, admits to sell, and we will negotiate to get you the best deal. Hasta la vista, baby.